This video is being recorded after I beat Jin and Amalthus. This is to serve as a way for people who kind of are struggling on either fights, whether or not those fights are in normal mode or in Bringer of Chaos mode, which is what I've been doing. This should serve as a way for those people to be able to beat these bosses. Give me a second, I gotta switch my controllers. Anyway, I figure I should probably go over what I ended up doing. Oh wait, I reset up my party after I beat the boss. Give me a second to show you what my original party was. Alright, we fixed up everybody, as well as I also put on the other two party members in my party to show you exactly what I did. So, for Jin, let's go over some of the complications with fighting Jin. Jin has a fun mechanic we like to call spikes. Originally they were added late in development of Xenoblade Chronicles 1, but they stuck around since then because they are a very fair and balanced mechanic. We love them. Jin's spike is a 30% damage spike, meaning every time I hit him, he counters with 30. I take around about 215 HP. I think it's based off of the auto attack strength of your blade, not the actual damage number. So it does some damage over time, especially when we are low health, and Jin can use another one of the big complications we had to strat around, Zero Zone. Zero Zone was not fun to deal with. Zero Zone is a debuff move, meaning that no matter if the party activates a level 4 special or a blade combo to gain invulnerability, the debuff will still go through unless you have some form of resistance. None of my party does. I also don't have the items to gain said resistance against that, so I had to strat around that. The first thing that we did for a lot of blades, I don't have it exactly set on them right now, but we gave Poppi Cutie Pie a spike defense 5. I also have to set up her chart, but regardless, we gave her a spike defense 5 in regards to Jin's spike. That way she'd only take 1 damage per spike hit. That's really good because, especially since I found the true MVP for this battle. Meet Poppi Alpha. Affinity max barrier 5, spike defense 5. The into the air is really just for damage. Where she truly shines, however, is her arts. Rigid Shield. When you stack Rigid Shield is an art that basically nullifies all reactions when you get hit. Basically nullifies all reactions. Using a reaction is pretty much anything that can stop your party member in their tracks. For example, break, topple, launch, smash. Those are all reactions, as well as blow down and knockback. Those are the only 6 reactions in the game. Everything else that you see is a debuff. The only debuff that you can use a couple of things. For example, you can use a nullify you can use a debuff cancel. There it is. You can use debuff cancels. Any blade with a debuff cancel can activate to remove any currently inflicted debuffs, such as nullify heal, shackle driver. The only thing they can't cancel is shackle blade, because they have to have the tether to actually be able to cancel the debuff. Nullify reaction helps little in this fight. Just spamming Poppi Alpha a lot is pretty much the strategy I ended up doing once I got him down to half health. I basically sat in Rigid Shield and only came out when I absolutely needed to. Rigid Shield stays out for a long time, and if you stack if you make every single one of Tora's pouch items just like archery charge, so like you use the Hot Ruby Steam Bun and Victory Smoothie, or the Narsapir Jelly, which a lot of people have access to. This is the easiest archery charge in the game to get, and it is probably the most helpful item in the entire game, due to it being accessible from the very beginning with a dev level of 0 on Argentum. It's very good. If you put in a lot of time into more Ardain and do a bunch of the contracts, you're able to unlock the Hot Ruby Steam Bun, which is what I favored for this fight. Archery charge is the way to go. You can also do some fusion combo stacking with Rex and Nia. I'll get into their blades in a bit, but yeah. For all the Poppi forms, you want Rigid Shield. You want Poppi QT to have the as well as a system reset. You just want Tora built for tanking. Not only that, you really want a roll CPU that has some form of HP mod or like evasion mod. HP mod, if you put HP mod on all three, you'll have max HP by this point in the game. Like if you're equal level with Jin, you'll have like a maximum HP because you're getting a 60% HP bonus from all that HP tank stacking. Instead of going for the that route, I went with the evasion mod. Still works. Very good modifier though. Definitely use it. As for the other blades of my party, since you can't exactly control the AI, you probably want to set them up for what you can make them do for you. Unlocked.
Wow! My powers know no bounds!
Organic Automata, Fierce Healer. These two skills are bread and butter. These are Nim's bread and butter. They are insanely powerful. I used a common Bitball on Nia. You can pretty much use any blade in this. You can even use Dromark, but for the routes that combo routes that I was going, I kind of needed Kokoro, and I didn't want to use Vest due to the fact that this blade is way better. Having a barrier aura. Your other party members aren't going to suffer as much from blade affinity being reduced. The main party control, the tank blade, will suffer a lot. So rewriting your party to have like flat damage bonuses instead of affinity max bonuses will pretty much help with Tora. Just getting back up to max affinity or keeping his affinity levels. Mithra, you can't take her off of Rex, so you gotta strat with her being there. So I kind of just set Mithra on do a ton of damage mode. Also made Rex do crit healing with his accessories. Oh, I missed the button. I would have had an ice headband here. But yeah, so you got Avant-Garde Medal, Ice Headband, really good combo, because you're getting the 30% extra crit damage on top of whatever crit damage you already have. If Rex does anything with Pyro, which in my combo route, I was going for Stone, Fire, Wind, Rex will switch to Pyro, and if he crits at any point, due to Pyro's blade chart, like, he's pretty much going to get a full heal whenever art he hits. So, there's that added bonus. I used Gorg for no particular reason other than because I didn't want to use Praxis. You can use Praxis. She's not, like, bad inherently. The only issue with her is that because of Rex using Power Spike a lot, which is his break art on her, he's gonna try and switch to her as often as possible when Jin isn't inflicted with break, which sure is fine and all, but with that 5% physical defense and ether defense, that's gonna tear him up over time. So, I don't know. If you want, though, you can do the route that I did with Praxis, right? You can have a setup I have with Praxis right here. Either give her Spike Defense on her only AHKOS slot, or you can outfit it with Massive Melee Mithra if you have the DLC, or just any old critical up. Get her insane crit rate. Yeah, and then if Rex just stays in her the entire time, it'll just crit heal. Unless Nullify Heal happens, which I'll get into how I at least dealt with that. Actually, wait, I already did. Rex doesn't have any blades that have that on him, so he was kind of stuck in the rut for most of the battle, but since he wasn't really getting attacked by a lot of the heavy damaging moves, the only thing we had to worry about for Rex not dying was that Jin didn't spam Empty Moment all that often. Keeping the aggro on Tora prevents also Rex getting hit with anything. If he's stuck with the Nullify Heal, he's going to be dead if he gets hit by any art, because Nullify Heal lasts for a base of 15 seconds, and in those 15 seconds, Jin can use a bunch of arts, including the fact that it gets boosted even higher. That timer lasts even longer if Jin's in if you're in Bringer of Chaos. Finally, I guess we hit Nia. Nim. For doing this game, DLC list, Nim. Telos is only here because I guess I wanted damage for it. She is technically a DLC blade, but you could pretty much use anybody in this slot. Like Dagas. Where is he? Yeah, you could use Dagas if you wanted, because that would give a much bigger special damage. It would give you a much bigger boost if you did his blade chart. Realistically, Dagas actually would have been better than Telos, but because Telos only has her own specials get increased damage, but it's what you decide. Setting up for stone combos, trying to bait your party into like staying in with their earth blades is very good, especially for Nim. If you can just sit, you can basically, what I ended up doing was I just sat in Rigid Shield and had Nim spam healing arts and hoped that Jin didn't use Zero Zone. Wouldn't have mattered though, because with the amount of arts recharge that we had on Tora, he could pretty much cancel himself. He could pretty much arts cancel into Rigid Shield the entire time he was sitting in Rigid Shield, so that was pretty good. We gave Nia some extra HP as well as Rex during the actual fight. I think I messed up when I said earlier, he actually had an extra HP, so everybody had like 7,000 HP, so they could last through a single empty moment or two. We took off the beta scope earlier. We switched them out for, I think it was... I don't actually remember exactly what I had on Tora. I'd have to check later, but I know it was another accessory that would help him with his just damage and such. Pouch items, pretty much everybody had the same thing. Rex did Victory Smoothie Hot Ruby Steam Bun. Nia had this really awesome pouch item called the Fish Herb Broth, which I'll go over where you can get that in a different video. More Ordain. Yeah. Arch Recharge. Very good. Also works with Nim because, yeah, like, she has a light... Nim likes this one, so put them both in their first slot. Boom. That's a really high boosted, pouch item. Especially you want to put it in your first slot, because there are some weird discrepancies with the bonuses you can get, like the bonus multipliers you can get. If it's their favorite item, you definitely want it in this. You definitely want it in the first slot. Other items, I don't know if they actually get the boosted, like, effects if they're in the second pouch item, so it's just best to keep everything that the main party likes in here. Victory Smoothie all in the first slot also helped with Agate, because not everybody had their top liked item. Like, the main blades that he was ended up using was Agate or Pyra, so I just kind of based it both off of them. Not really with this one, I kind of just threw it on and forgot. It was mainly for a party gauge anyway. This one's a leftover from the other one. Now, the only thing about the Jin fight is that it doesn't stop at Jin. There's another fight right afterwards called Amalthus. Now, I didn't have really a strategy going in on how I was going to beat out his HP regen. That one was a tough cookie to crack, but we figured it out. I figured out the best way would be, let's go to, I think it's best if I show exactly what I was trying for. Thanks to the story, having Amalthus jump out of a...
Let's rest a spell.
Let's get going.
I did not know those were there. Thank you, game. Anyway, Jin makes a giant... Amalthus makes a giant hole in the ground when he comes into the world. This is what we did. This is what I used. Essentially, the big strategy for this time was special charge. For the Amalthus fight, special charge meant everything, because we needed to hit him into the hole. If you really, really, really want to beat Amalthus in a Bringer of Chaos or just in any difficulty at all, get a blade combo. There's plenty of blade combos that do a knockback. Notably, anything that ends in wind tends to do knockback. You can also do one with a nuclear blast, such as that being fire, light. Mythra really helps for that one, since if you're using Rex, she's just already there. You have a light blade, boom. The one I ended up doing, another thing that also had a slowdown, which I didn't know. Poppi QT's level 4. Did not know it had this, but the user level 4 actually has a blowdown as a part of her level 4. And Amalthus is not immune to blowdown. So wait for her, build up enough special charge really fast, right near the hole. Line yourself up with the hole and just use the level 4 or finish off the blade combo. You can send him right down the hole and he dies instantly. Fun fact, this is how speedrunners do this fight. So, I would use pretty much anything at your disposal, even if it means cheesing the boss on a giant hole. I love this hole. This hole saved me hours of re-strategizing for the Amalthus fight. Because I really did not want to have to deal with the HP regen. It's boosted in Bringer of Chaos mode as well, meaning that on top of having an insane healing, you also have, on top of him regenning after he hits his enrage status, you have to deal with the Dominion that he can inflict on you, you have to deal with Sacred Arrow one-shotting your party, you have to deal with a ton of other random monotonous nonsense. It's just way more satisfying to throw him down the hole and just say, screw you, Amalthus. But yeah. That pretty much goes over my strategies for both of these bosses. I did have a strategy video that I made early on about how I was planning on dealing with Jin. I did do a little bit of organic re-strategizing as the battle went on, and it ended up being Poppi Alpha to save the day. So, thank you, Poppi Alpha, or Rigid Shield. And that's all. I hope some of that helps with at least some ideas of how to beat the Jin fight and the Amalthus fight, because these are two of the hardest fights in the game, if not the MALOS AHKOS fight. And I don't know, I just hope it helps someone out there. Thank you for tuning in. Next time we come back, we'll see me taking down all all my fellow party members as Rex.